Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. I am Joe from Team BigMarker. If for any reason you need to email me or contact me, you can always email me at joe@bigmarker.com. You can also contact our support team at support@bigmarker.com. And if for some reason you need to ever talk to our sales team, you can email them at sales@bigmarker.com as well. So thank you so much for attending our webinar today. And if you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving this coming weekend. It should be fun. So BigMarker, what is BigMarker? BigMarker is your place to watch or host webinars. So BigMarker gives you all the tools you need if you are a host, from actually hosting your webinar like I'm doing now, to scheduling it, to promoting it, to even helping you with the recording at a later date. For attendees, BigMarker is the place for you to find content, whether you were invited to attend said content or webinars, to, on the homepage, as you can see, find actual upcoming webinars that you can attend. So, for example, there's one happening in 32 minutes right here at 1871 in Chicago. So that is what BigMarker is. For hosts, it's really your one-stop shop to find everything you need to host webinars. So the first thing we're going to look at is actually your homepage. So when you are on BigMarker, everybody that is on it and uses it has their own account. So you can see that in the top upper right-hand corner, your little picture right there and name. That gives everybody their own personal home, which on your home is basically where everything connects together, so that you can find all the content you need. So as you see on my home, here's the webinars I'm attending, to the highlighted conferences, to even some featured conferences, some trending conferences, etc. Then on the left side, I can see all of my channels that I am actually either subscribed to or host myself. So basically the idea with your homepage is it helps you find everything you need to at a click of a button. So the next thing we're going to look at is one of the channels. So this is our tips and tricks channel that we're on right now. And basically the idea with the channel or community is essentially it is a space to give you everything you need to connect all of your webinars and conferences. So essentially the idea is you have all the tools in here. You need to either engage your audience or to connect with your community depending on what you need. So you can share files, post updates, look at your calendar, and then also to schedule your upcoming webinars and conferences. So that's the idea with the channel, is it essentially like your YouTube channel, just keeps all of your information all together and then all of your subscribers together as well. So when we're inside of our channel, and then too also on our homepage, and pretty much anywhere on the site, you're going to see this little button that says Host a Conference. Well, on this Host a Conference button, what you can do is if you click this starts the Hosting a Conference modal. And when you do that, it brings up how to host a web conference. So this is basically your first start to hosting your web conferences. So the first thing we're going to do is give our web conference a name. So I'm just going to do name of the conference. And then we can do hosted by. I can select the community that's hosted by. I'm just going to do it in the tips and tricks one. The category, so what category that it's in. So we can do it if it's public, or you can even go down to other. The date and time, so we can schedule for now or in the future. I'm going to schedule mine for now, so it opens up for you guys to see. And then we have the type. Is it public, private, or is it a test conference? So public means anybody in the world can attend, and the BigMarker staff, including myself, will try to promote it as much as possible for you. And then also, too, it will appear on our homepage, and then we also send all of our information to Google, so it will be cataloged. So the idea with your public one, you create it for 2 to 3 weeks out, and we will help generate traffic for you, as well as yourself helping generate traffic for your webinar. Then we have our private conferences, and a private conference is essentially an invite-only conference. You send the invites to either your channel subscribers or to your email contact list. And then we have a test conference, which I'm going to do a test conference. Basically what a test conference is essentially you're testing out the system. You're seeing how everything works without having to commit. Essentially these won't show up in your conference history or conference archives. So when people are looking through your channel at a later time, they don't see all these tests. So I'm going to create a test conference, and we will schedule the conference and move forward. So the first place we land on is our conference landing page, which you can see right here. And this is what you can use to enter the conference and all these other tools like sharing, inviting more, seeing who the featured presenters are, having a conversation with those that have registered for your event, and then entering the conference. First thing I want to go do is look at our Edit the Conference, and I'll show you how to do that. Click Edit the Conference, and then in your Edit Conference, you can go through and actually add more details to your conference. Change the URL, add more categories, select the time and duration, so we can actually make it for longer, or we can make it for shorter. So I'll make it for 45 minutes, for example. I can go through here and add about this conference. I'm just going to put jibber jabber in there. But if you're hosting a public webinar or maybe a ticketed webinar, you can use this space to really sell your webinar. Put in the who, what, where, when, and why. And then we have our agenda, where we can put in our agenda here, add topics, and things like that. Then we can go down here and add presenters, so you can invite people that are outside of your channel to be a presenter. So we can easily just click this and invite them to be a presenter, or we can even add people that are part of your channel as a presenter. So I'm actually going to add Andy as a presenter. So Andy's right here. It's myself and Andy, and then I can even invite somebody as well. The next section is sell tickets. So automatically, webinars to attend on BigMarker are free. That's how they're automatically set. If you'd like to sell tickets, which you're more than welcome to do, you can go through here and do paid tickets, and then you can actually set the price to attend the webinar, and then also to a price to view the recording. The really nice thing about selling the recording at a later date is that that's residual income you can have down the line. So you host this wonderful webinar, you get a lot of people to sign up for it, and then you make the recording paid. So as people keep coming to it later in life, throughout the year, you can start generating revenue on just that recording. Or you can make a donation where it's free to attend, but people are prompted to donate to your community / channel. So let me keep it no tickets. And then we go down to our advanced settings, and there's a lot of really neat advanced settings that you should definitely look through when you're creating your webinar. The first one is who has rights inside the conference room. So currently right now I'm just the presenter, so it's just me. I have the right to click the record button. I have the right to enable public chat, disable public chat, etc. I have those rights. You as an attendee don't have those rights. Well, in here you have the ability to give everyone that right, so it becomes kind of a free-for-all. And then here soon we'll have a new right as well, where the attendees have the rights to share their webcam and audio and video at the beginning if they'd like. Then we have the conference size, 1,000 or under 1,000. Depending on your particular community, you'll see the conference sizes here, depending on what you would like to have it go at. Is it a test conference? This one is, yes. Then we have privacy. We have all the privacy options, public, private, invite only, etc. Then we have the language that the conference will be hosted in. You can see all these languages we have here, and if you'd like a different language, you can just always email me, and we can add it for you. And then we have primary location. So this is where you are selecting a server that's located nearest to you or most of your attendees. So we do have servers all across the world, including North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, East Asia, Australia, and the wonderful continent of South America. So depending on where you are located, you can select a server near you. So we have, for example, we are very popular in Brazil, so they would select our South American server because it would give them a lot better service down there. Then we have a few other items down here: smart spots, display registration, and who can view the recording. So those are pretty easy. You can go through and read the little description on those if you have questions about them. And then we'll save the conference and move on to the next step. So the next step is kind of designing and previewing your conference. So this is what your conference will look like if you go through and design it. So you can actually see kind of the preview here before you decide to save it. You can select an image to go as your background image. You can also select a new photo to put here, so then when people are searching your webinars, they can actually see your particular content. I would definitely suggest going through here and filling out all this content and actually putting in images and things like that, because it definitely makes your webinar a lot better looking. And then you can start seeing what your attendees are going to see, and you can even do while it's in progress and then after the conference as well. Then we have our invite and more section. Under our invite and more section, you can go through here and send your invites. You can actually type out an invite in here. I'm just going to invite, actually it's myself. I'll just invite myself, but that's okay. Joe Don Yeoman. BigMarker.com. I'll invite him. He's saying invite this conference. I've invited Joe. I can go through here and see my imported contacts or import more contacts. I can promote it socially. Here's all the social buttons. I can even see the invite list, and is actually, if I reload this invite list, as soon as the invites are sent out, you'll start seeing them come through here. So it might take a couple minutes for the invite to send out. It takes sometimes up to a minute. Then it'll start showing up there. And then we have our wait list on here as well. So once you add people to the wait list, they show up in there. And then below here, we have some pro features like your conference analytics, boosting attendance, adding your logo to the conference room. So instead of having show the BigMarker logo, you can show your own logo, to emailing attendees, to custom registration, to getting user help, and then even to downloading your recording at a later date. See if it shows up yet. So you can see once the cool thing, once your registration, your email shows up, looks like the invite isn't saying it. You can see the recipient's name, where they invited, and then also too, did they open, clicked, or registered through that invite. And then we're back to our conference page, where, as you can see again, some of this information is starting to fill out. Andy's a presenter. We have the about the conference, things like that. And then I can click Enter Conference to actually enter the conference, which I will do now. As a host, the first thing you're going to see when you enter your conference, and you can see that this is just blocking it. Beep. First thing you're going to see as you enter your conference is your little share area where you can actually select what you would like to share. So this is a preview page, so nothing has been published yet in here. So I'm sharing my microphone, etc. And then I can click Continue to the conference to actually publish it. As a host, your conference room is broken up into 4 areas. The far left is your presentation area. This is where all of your content publishes. So if I were to share my screen, it goes here. If I share a file or open a whiteboard, it goes here on the far left. Let me open a whiteboard. And I can even draw on my whiteboard. And that is your presentation area. In the center of this area, or on yours, the far right, we have our chat. In the chat, you can chat like a regular chat. Beep, 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 beep. We also have a few other features in the chat, like adding a we have the hashtag right here. We can add a Twitter hashtag. So if you'd like to bring in Twitter to your conference room, you can have that. Then you actually have to authorize Twitter to do so. So let me authorize Twitter quickly. Let me see if I remember the password off the top of my head. I don't want to keep it safe. Whatever. I'm not going to verify my identity, but you can bring in Twitter in here and it'll actually start showing up your hashtag. Sorry, I'm using a different admin account today instead of my own one that I specifically use. We can do People tab in here. So in your, sorry, we'll keep going through the chat. I didn't finish the chat yet. Chat, at the bottom of the chat, you have a raise your hand button. You also have the ability to use emoticons, and then even too with the @ sign, you can actually ask specific people questions instead of just the whole group. And then there's even a tweet button too, so if you are tweeting, you can do so. Then in the center, we have our People tab that shows you who's in the conference room and allows you to private chat with those people if you would like. And then on the far right, we have Poll, where you can actually create a poll for the audience. The thing to know about the poll is you cannot create it beforehand, so you have to do it inside the conference room. And then once you hit Poll the Audience, it actually brings up the poll, and you can see the voting numbers. So if you give me 1 second, I will poll everybody here. We'll poll the audience quick. And then you can start voting on the poll so you can see what you'd see it as an attendee, and then you go through and you can vote on the poll. And then I can even end the poll, too, if I'd like to end the poll early as well. And then these poll results at the end of the conference will post on the conference landing page so you can see still the voting results at a later date. You do not see or have the information to find out who voted for what yet. That is a coming feature and wrinkle to it. And then also, too, it has been asked if there is the green bar, the audio bar, that you cannot turn that off. That is something that just stays on there. Here soon, when you share just microphone only, you can will be able to hide your audio, but it'll still show you who's speaking and then have that microphone bar. If you'd like to mute yourself, you're able to do so under the mic button, and then as soon as you mute yourself, that bar goes away. So if you don't want people to see that you're talking, but the bar keeps going on there. On the far right, we have the host control panel. So you cannot see the host control panel because you're as an attendee, but this is what I see as the host control panel. The first section is audience. So this is your audience permissions. So under audience permissions, you can show attendee list, turn off attendee list, show and enable public chat. So I could turn off public chat for everybody, turn it back on. You could even do attendee mic and cam. You can enable or disable them, and this enables and disables for everybody, so you'd see their right to actually share. And then two, you can go down here and do individual permissions, so you can go through and give specific individuals the right to share their audio and video if you'd like, or kick them out of the room, or make them presenters, etc. In the next tab, we have the record tab, where you can actually start your recording. And then when you stop your recording, it will start processing, so just a note. The thing when it does recording, it records the audio, the video, the screen sharing, the presentation sharing, the YouTube sharing, your chat. It records pretty much everything but the polls, because again, the polls are shown later. And then we hit stop recording when we are done recording. And then finally, in this host control panel, we have our advanced tab, where you can go through here and click broadcast in HD, where it'll actually broadcast your stream in HD. That's what I'm doing right now. It gives you higher resolution audio and video, and then also too gives you better for your screen sharing. And then we have hide all tweets. So if you're using Twitter, you can actually hide all tweets. And then the last portion of the conference room is your share area, and that is at the top. So the first one, I'm going to unshare my cam. The first one is just share your mic. So it actually just shares the microphone. So we have just Joe, the microphone, and it pulls in my picture showing here. And then if I'd like to share my cam and mic, you can do so, and they share together. So that's the cam and mic. Just a note, if you do hit cam on, it just shares your cam and mic together. It doesn't share just cam. And then we have start screen sharing. So if we'd like to screen share, you can do so on here. You can share your whole screen, or you can share individual items if you would like. Note about screen sharing, too, you do need to be on Google Chrome for the screen sharing to work. And then for you as the host, not as the attendee. And then you can share files, so you can upload your PowerPoints, PDFs, Microsoft Word docs, etc., and then you can also use our whiteboard. We definitely suggest uploading everything as a PDF. It loads faster. It keeps your content much better. Just a note, if you do upload a PowerPoint or a Microsoft Word document, we do translate the file into something new to show. Microsoft owns the rights to present those PowerPoints, so we have to change them into something else, and sometimes when you do that, there is formatting loss because of fonts that Microsoft owns that we cannot use. And then we have Play YouTube Video. So underneath here, we have Play YouTube Video, where this is a really cool feature. This is one of the ones I really like. It makes your conferences a lot more interactive, so we can actually all listen to Adele's brand new song that all of us have heard probably 100 times, where we can go through here, and we can watch it together as a group. And it'll play the audio and video. It will go forward if I want it to go forward all together as a group. And then if I hit pause, it'll pause all together. So we can all watch it. And then I can remove the video if I would like and get back to just the screen. So that gives you a way to actually do all sorts of different media inside of your conference room. So if you had an interview you wanted to go through, or you're running a classroom and have one specific thing you wanted to show, you could easily do that. And then in the conference room, we do have a little tour, too. So if you forget anything I said, you can actually go through here and take a tour, and it tells you what you can and can't do. When you're done with your conference, there's a little End Conference button that you can click, and when you do end the conference, it will remove everybody from the room and then also shut it down later so that people aren't attending something that you're not in. After you're done recording your conference recording publishes to your conference landing page. So this is the conference recording, as you can see here. So this is a session that we streamed from 1871. So this gentleman's talking. We have the presentation, and you go through. You can actually start seeing it. And then, two, you can go down here and actually look at all of the different things about the conference still. And then as well as you can embed this recording or download it depending on your permissions. And finally, we have pricing. So if you would like to use BigMarker, we do have very great pricing compared to our competitors. We are amazing. We want to make sure that webinar hosting is available to everyone. So we have everything from a free plan to our summit plan. And our summit plan is awesome. 2,000 attendees for $299 a month. But if you were to compare that to GoToWebinar, you're saving about, I don't know, like $300 or $400 a month. So that is BigMarker in a nutshell. If you have any questions, this is where you can ask them, and I can answer any question you have about BigMarker, our service, or anything like that. And if I don't have the answer, I can always hunt the answer down for you. And my email, again, is joe@bigmarker.com. If you ever have any support questions, so something's not working, please email support@bigmarker.com, and the fine support team can help you out. And again, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Or happy Thanksgiving, I guess that's the correct terminology. And a safe Black Friday. Yeah, the videos stream pretty well from YouTube. I'll play one right now. Because of how it loads is it actually loads on everybody's individual computer before it'll play. So that way it's not actually streaming the video per se. So we can all watch this together. Just a note about YouTube videos, they do need to be public or unlisted. If they're private, they won't play on people's screens. And for some reason, if they have adult-themed content in them, some people might have blockers already set up on their own personal YouTube accounts that might not let it stream. So that's just something to note. So, we're streaming the YouTube video right now. It looks great to me on my screen. Hopefully it looks great on yours as well. And obviously you can tell that I'm talking over the video, so if you didn't want that, you would definitely want to mute yourself if you want to listen all together as this. So, there's a YouTube video. Again, I can move it forward. So. Yeah, you can use the platform for one-to-one video meetings. People do that all the time. The platform is set up. BigMarker specifically, our branding is for webinars. That's specifically what our team is doing to host and to help people. So when you are hosting these webinars, when you're hosting these events, most of our features we are adding and things like that in the future are webinar themed. We aren't doing anything to add more features to make meetings easier or better. So you can still use them for meetings. That's something that a lot of people do. I would say around half of our members are using it to host 1 to 10 person meetings. Even the people who host webinars still use it to host meetings. So it's definitely something you can still use to host meetings. People's videos will publish all right next to each other. So it's very great for a meeting. It's just something to note that in the future, it's not that we're going to support those particular that particular style. So under File Share, if you go here under File Share, we have Files and Whiteboards. You just go to Add New Whiteboard. You can click Open Whiteboard. And also, too, when you share your files, they will have the ability for you to whiteboard on them. So, yep, you can whiteboard. So this is me drawing. No, there's not typically a lot of lag time. It's set up to be very, very fast. Lag time only really happens when it comes down to your own personal internet access. So if you have somebody that has very terrible internet access, obviously they're going to have lag experience, but that's the same on every platform. That's not specific to webinar technology. It's more specific to your own personal internet access. Yep. How do I figure out if HD will work for my client? My suggestion is to have them do a speed test to make sure that their speed is fast enough. As long as they have a consistent 10 and above megabytes per second, you're good to go. I would also suggest doing a test with them. You can create an account for free and start the free version and try that out. And then you can even do that quick, just have a quick meeting to see how the quality works for them. It's very easy. You just create the conference, send them a link, and say, hey, enter this. Let's see how everything goes. Yep, you can do that. You can share it as still screen sharing. Screen sharing does use more bandwidth for you, but and again, you can still share a PowerPoint in here. You can still actually select, and do a PowerPoint. But again, we would suggest a PDF just because they show up better. They don't have any sort of degradation when it comes down to formatting issues or things like that. So I just selected a PDF. It's uploading right now. And then as soon as it is uploaded, it will project right in here. So depending on how big the PDF, it takes a little bit to go. The conference room does open half an hour before you as a host, so you can do that. Inside the conference room, you cannot turn down your broadcasting bandwidth. It's just up to whatever your internet speed will let you do. That's not something you can do inside the conference room. That's a feature I think we want to add eventually in the future, but there's a lot of technology that goes behind doing so. So this is a PowerPoint, a PDF. It was originally PowerPoint, now it's a PDF, and I can go through here and whiteboard on it. Yay! What is Vox? Vox is a general interest news site for the 21st century. And then I can even change the color and things like that, depending on what I need. All right, do we have any more questions that I can help anybody with? I do need to move on to another meeting here soon, actually. I have to go grab some servers, actually, from our server location here in Chicago that we're upgrading manually ourselves, so that's exciting. Oh, thank you, Anna.